All right, good morning, beautiful people. It is now Saturday, December 7th, and tomorrow is Sunday, week 14. And we got the Rams at Bills. So I got my best friend here, Anthony. First time on the podcast. What's going on, Anthony?
Oh, not too much. Happy to be here. Can't wait to get into some good X's and O's and some good discussion. Plus, can't wait for the game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for it. Not really. The Rams are an underdog, and I got some stats here about when they're underdogs. They're not looking too good. You got the Erie Otter banner behind you, and also Bills in the Christmas decor, so I do love it. And we're gonna hop into it. I just want to show some of the offense and defensive rankings right now. This is the Rams offense. A lot of Christmas colors. We got some green and red going on.
Love it.
So how do you feel about the Bills defense this year, by the way?
Well, I'll be honest, I can't really read too much as far as these rankings, so hopefully the viewers can help me out here. But you can also throw in some ideas here too. The Bills' defense this year has been kind of what I expected, and it's in the sense that they always run what's called a big nickel. They always run nickel. They always have Taron Johnson on the field. So overall, they're pretty good against the pass, but you can run against them, as we saw earlier in the year against Baltimore. You know, Derrick Henry ran
Hmm.
all over them, Lamar Jackson, all throughout the year. You've gotten some good chunks. If you were even watching just last week before McCaffrey went down, before Mason went down, they both were tearing off big gains. And Buffalo wants to allow you to do that. They want you to run the ball and they want you to make a mistake. So they want you to go down the field and they'll stop you in the red zone. That's usually what they like to do. That I hate that cliche bend but not break, but that's basically what McDermott plays, and it is pretty maddening as a fan at times. But on the same side, if their offense gets up and the defense can pin their ears back, get up a couple of scores, that's where Buffalo wants you. And that's when they can really, it starts to snowball and you can't stick with the run. And that's what they want to do. But like I said, they always play that nickel. You rarely see three linebackers on the field at the same time. So that'll open up a lot of holes for Karen Williams. He'll definitely be able to. I expect a big game out of him, not because
Yeah.
I'm just going against him in fantasy this week, but overall, the Bills' defense is not very good against the run.
And it's funny you say that because in the rankings here, the Rams are ranked 26 offensively, so maybe that's good for the Bills. The Rams aren't ranked that high. And you mentioned Kyron Williams. Yeah, most of the season he got like 90% of the snaps for running back. But last week he finally dipped down, and I think Blake Corum, the rookie, was in for about almost
Mhm.
30% of snaps. So there's discussion that Corum might be having a good week or trending to take more snaps this week. I do know the Rams on a short week. They play Thursday night, so it makes me wonder: is it going to be more of a split backfield to keep Kyron kind of more rested for Thursday? But who knows? That's the Rams offense. Let me pull up the Bills offense. A lot more green. It's all green over there. In the right bottom right here. If anyone wondering, that's the goo. If you watch the Masked Singer, there was a Rams player recently revealed, and he plays on the defense. So the Bills are all green, looks like, except for passing yards, ranked 17th, and the Rams are all pretty much red. They're 28th in rush. So I'm kind of scared for Cook, Davis. You guys got, and Josh Allen's a good running quarterback. So all season I've been scared when it comes to running, but our passing, I'm nervous for passing. How do you feel about the Bills' offense this season?
Overall, they've been much better than expected. And I won't say that stats always tell the entire story because if
Hmm.
you look at a lot of the Bills games, for example, they're letting off the gas hard in the third quarter. Trubisky's been in a lot. So when you see 17th in passing yards, don't let that fool you. Allen's more than capable of putting up big numbers if need be. The problem is, or really not a problem, they've been not needing to do that, not needing to rely on him so much. Like you said, you've got three really good running backs in the Bills offense, led by James Cook, followed up with Ray Davis, who's been sensational as a rookie, had the big game Monday night against the Jets, and then finally their third down back, Ty Johnson. He's got speed, good hands. He can catch a touchdown or two. But overall, it's been a pleasant surprise. Now, early in the year, would I have said the same? Not so much. They were, kind of feeling their way out. They traded for Amari Cooper, of course, and the reason why they didn't really have a good kind of bigger number one esque receiver. I would say Cooper's on that level, maybe not quite
Hmm.
like, game breaker as some other guys out there. He's not Justin Jefferson by any means, but he can get the job done. And they needed somebody who can separate. You've got Keon Coleman, who's been really hurt the last three games. He may not even play this week again. And then also, he just can't get open, generate so much separation, but he does well with the contested catches. You've got Kincaid and Knox, good tight ends. Again, separation wise, they're not going to break away speed. They're not going to get away from you. And then you've got Shakir in the slot, who is excellent at catching everything. But again, undersized, kind of built like a running back almost, but then at the
Hmm.
same time, about height wise, like Cole Beasley, maybe it's number 10, kind of where that reminds you of. So overall, they've got a lot of different weapons on offense, and you got to really plan for a lot. And I watched some of the interview with Sean McVay earlier this week, and they were asking him, and he said, yeah, it's pretty much everybody tries to figure out how to stop this offense, how to
Hmm.
stop Josh Allen. And if they knew the answer, I mean, you would see that. It's been extremely difficult. Buffalo has put up 30 plus points, I believe, 6 straight or however many straight games now. So that offense is very high potent, but at the same time, stats wise, I feel like they're going to play to whatever the defense is, allowing them. If the Rams are not very good defending the run, I can see a lot of rushing yards. But at the same time, if it starts becoming a shootout, you may see Allen, putting on that Superman cape with not only with throwing, but maybe a few runs, like you said. So a lot to look forward to. Looking forward to that matchup there. Hopefully, from a Bills fans' perspective, we'll see what that
Yeah.
they can put up, maybe 30 points and keep that streak going. But I'm sure you'd rather that come to an end.
Yeah, as one of the notes I had was Bills are a hot team. They're ranked second for points per game. I think it's 29.6, but they scored 30 and I believe 6 straight. They're just a hot team. And this chart here, I see it says they're second in turnovers. I looked it up. Yeah, they've only given the ball up 7 times, and they lead the differential with plus 17. So I mean,
Yep.
not that's where most games are won and lost, the turnover battle. So that's definitely it. You mentioned Mitch Trubisky. Kind of jokingly, I was thinking, the Rams, the only way they can win this or make the playoffs is probably winning the division. And they play San Francisco Thursday night. I think they should just bench everyone. And you know what? The Bills have a tough game against Detroit. Just bench everyone. Just make it Mitch versus Jimmy G. That's what the people want to see. But yes, I mean, we'll hop right into it. This is we got the Bills are going into Los Angeles, but they are favored by 3.5, over under 49.5. I guess we'll jump right into it. How are you feeling for this matchup, and who do you think wins? Do you have a prediction of a final score?
So I think it'll be a little higher scoring. Again, bit of a weaker, defense from the Rams' perspective. The Bills, they definitely can be ran on, and then also the Rams' offense. Now that they're healthy, you've got a healthy Cup, you've got a healthy Nakua. That's going to be huge. I would say kind of thinking, I would say 34-27 Bills win and
Hmm.
they cover. But again, that's a bit of a higher score, so we'll see what ends up happening. I'm not sure what the over under is for that. I know, like you said, the Bills are favored by 3.5 points. So I can see it going a little bit back and forth, and I don't think they'll have any snow there at SoFi Stadium
Yeah.
either, so shouldn't be slowed down.
I mean, you have it closer than I do. I actually had the Bills winning 32-19, well covering the 3.5 spread. Um, I mean, the Rams, they don't have a true home field advantage, and Bills have a great fan base. And I don't know. So it doesn't really matter where this game's taking place. I don't think the Rams are going to stick with it. And it's funny. I was looking it up. There's actually no home field advantage this season because the home team, the record is 95 and 95. It's pretty much even. I mean, I feel like some teams might have a home field advantage, but I guess I'm just scared of
Yeah.
Josh Allen. I've talked about Lamar being great against NFC, but Josh Allen against the NFC West specifically is 7-1.
Yep.
2-0 against the Rams, and his only loss was in 2020 to the Hail Murray. So even that was a close
Mhm.
game. So he just loves going out west. So you must be excited about these games, right?
That he does. He does seem to do very well every time they play the NFC. Going back to your other point, I think I saw another stat, something like 49% estimated to be Bills fans in LA. I could see it being a
Mm-hmm.
little higher. I heard back a couple years ago when they hung the banner after they won the Super Bowl, it was 70% Bills fans in that stadium, and it sounded like it. I don't know if you heard or watched any really of the Seattle Buffalo game earlier this year. Buffalo took over the Seahawks
Yeah.
stadium. That does not happen. That does not make it feel like a road game. And I think it was Geno Smith who had came out and said that and was really
Mm-hmm.
shocked because, again, they do travel well. Obviously back here we've got feet of snow outside, a little bit further from Buffalo, but still, getting out of Buffalo this time of year, going to someplace nice and warm like LA, absolutely is the thing to do. So I could see a lot of Bills fans there, and not really that home field advantage. There are certain stadiums that do maintain that. I think Buffalo does, except there were a lot of 49ers fans on Sunday night, but you get Kansas City. They usually, they can hold a pretty good, actually, home field advantage. Pittsburgh, it's kind of difficult to get in there. So there are some remaining stadiums, but then, like you said, you've got LA and some other teams. Maybe they're not doing as well. I mean, the Titans, it's always predominantly like the away team that shows up in force. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I mean, I said you have the game closer than I do. What it is since the Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford is 3-15 as an underdog. So when he's an underdog, the books know he's not going to win. So my hopes aren't high. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping they can win. They really need these wins down the stretch for the division. But I have a question for you. I think historically, the Bills and some other teams like they seem to play down to their opponents. I don't know how you feel about that if they still do because I looked it up. Josh Allen since 2020 is 29-4 when teams are 500 or less, winning by an average of 13.4. So, I mean, do you feel scared going to any matchup now, or do you just love this team? I love watching them as a Rams fan. I love watching them.
Extremely entertaining. Love watching them. I am always scared. I'm a Bills fan. I'm in my 30s. Obviously, I have sat through the drought. I know what it's like. It's always kind of in the back of my mind, seeing Trent Edwards, JP Lossman, and knowing like in the pit of your stomach, there's something that's going to happen. For example, the Monday night game a long time ago against Tony Romo throws 5 interceptions. The Bills still lose that game. Those are the kind of things. So I'm always thinking about that. I would never say I'm extremely overconfident going into any game. But it's nice to see them favored in this sense. But like you were going back with the turnovers, that point, how many of the Bills, they haven't been turning it over this year. I think the narrative on Josh Allen is a little overblown. Guess who's leading the league in turnovers over the past, 3 or 5 years or something like that? It's Patrick Mahomes, in case you were wondering. So at the same time, that narrative, that's just for certain sports writers that are kind of thinking, hey, trying to think of some flaw in his game, but he's not doing that this year. And I think that's a product of the Joe Brady offense. They do a lot more passes at the line of scrimmage, quick hitters, slants, kind of more like a West Coast. They want to run the ball down the field, but they're not going deep. Whereas when they were under Ken Dorsey last year, trying to force feed it to Diggs a little bit more, going deeper, 50-50 balls, Diggs was not good at them. I'll just be honest in that respect. You can look up the numbers to back that up. And that's why they would never, lead interceptions at and Gabe Davis. I mean, that guy, can't tell you how many times balls bounced off his hands and leads to interceptions. So also on the same side of that, turnovers, Bills defense has forced a turnover in every single game this year. Will that continue here? I hope so. Probably hoping you don't, or you're hoping that it doesn't happen. But that's been very, very big as far as not turning the ball over, getting turnovers, turnover margin, making sure you're in the plus side and also in the leading category. That's why they're as good as they are. Can you lean on that at the same time going forward? Some turnovers are luck, but if you're going for those Peanut Tillman punches and you're trying to generate fumbles, then you want to make sure that's like your focal point of your defense. So overall, I would, going back to your question, say I'm not overly confident, but at the same time, it just depends what team shows up. In the past, we've seen kind of Josh Allen have some games where they lead to those turnovers and it just snowballs. He gets too excited, wants to press a little bit, wants to make the play, and it leads to more turnovers. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I looked it up. The Rams went +3 in the turnover battle, so I don't know what to expect. A lot of times on these streams, I have to I'm feeling this for a bet, or I like this number. I don't like anything because I don't know. The Bills could go out hot and then they just run the ball a lot, and Allen doesn't throw the ball much, or maybe the Rams are so behind they throw the ball a lot. But there's no props I like honestly in this matchup. I'm gonna watch just for fun, not gamble on it. There was one I was looking at because we did talk about the Bills' rush defense. Was Kyron Williams' longest rushing rush of over 15.5 yards? He did that. He'd gone over in 3 straight games, and I think the Bills gave up 16 or more on longest rush 9 of the 12 games. So might do that one if I want to do something.
I would 100% say that's a safe bet. That's a good bet. I would do that. I don't do sports betting, but
Yeah.
I think for all the listeners or viewers out there, that's one I would take, judging off of the way the Bills defense has been against running backs all year long.
And I just looked it up. Yeah, the public's loving the Bills. 82% of the money is on the Bills covering the spread. I guess my last question to you: who do you think scores first in this matchup? Just a first person to score touchdown.
I would say whoever gets the ball first. So if Buffalo gets the ball first, as far as a first score, I could see it. I'm going to go Ty Johnson. I'm going to say that I'm going to throw a curveball here. It'll be something with a running back involved. That'll be my guess. If it's on the Rams side, maybe a little bit of a homer pick. I'm hoping it'll be Puka Nacua, but we'll see.
Yeah, I went with the curveball too. I picked Khalid Shakir, the receiver. I know he hasn't got a lot of touchdowns. I think it's been a while. And I think that's why they're giving the ball. Just give him some love.
Yep, I could definitely see that.
Well, sweet. All right. So we both got the Bills winning and covering the 3.5 spread. I mean, that's all I got. Do you have any closing remarks, Anthony?
No, I just appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to maybe doing this a little bit more so down the road. Obviously, the Rams don't play the Bills very often, so
Nope.
this is that additional, or it's not the additional game. The additional game was a year or two ago, but
Yeah.
this one is them playing the NFC West. So I'll say looking forward to the game on tomorrow. Now it's already Saturday, and hoping everybody stays healthy too. Would like to see the Rams still win the NFC West, but maybe they can afford to drop one tomorrow.
I know people are saying, "Oh, the Super Bowl might be Bills Lions." That's what everyone wants, and I always get asked, like, "Do you want the Lions to win because of Goff?" I'm like, I don't hate him. I don't hate the Lions, but I've always liked the Bills as like my second team, so that's what I cheer for. So, and you said, yeah, we don't see this matchup often, which I'm happy about because the Bills just own the Rams. So I think it was a 9-5 historically. Josh Allen 2-0 against the Rams. So next time we match up, better be the Super Bowl. So. But yeah, I'm glad you could join me, man. This is always fun talking. Love bringing on fans from their episode, and that was it. So thanks for tuning in, and one love.